everybody, it's Rachel here from 2 Years Are Better Than One. Woo. Sorry, I'm supposed to be working tonight, but I'm just kind of goofing off instead. And I figured, why not do a video, because I'm procrastinating on doing my work. So anyways, I'm on my trampoline, and this is cool. This is our building. I'm gonna try to get off here and still actually talk to you guys. So part of what I've been thinking about lately is being bilateral, because yesterday I just celebrated my 6-month anniversary of being bilateral. My left ear was implanted or activated 6 months ago. And so anyways, there's been a lot of questions and comments and things going around on some of the Facebook groups about being bilateral and the benefits of it. So I thought I'd just do a quick little overview of my experience with being bilateral. So first of all, for those of you who don't know, what is bilateral? Well, bilateral means two sides. So 2 sides. Oh, and did you notice they stayed on just fine when I was doing that bouncing on my trampoline? There's my trampoline, by the way. How cool is that? How many people have a trampoline in their own building? Anyways, so bilateral, 2 sides. Binaural is meaning 2 ears and utilizing 2 ears. So obviously the first benefit of having 2 cochlear implants is the ability to have binaural hearing and being able to utilize both ears together at the same time. I did not realize how cool it is to have 2 ears until I got 2 cochlear implants, because growing up, my left ear has always been profoundly deaf, so I never used it for anything. But now, it's actually pretty darn awesome. So the first thing that I could think of would be stereo sound. If you've never experienced stereo sound, it's basically when you're like watching TV, you can sense the sound moving. So if a car drives by, you hear the sound in your, let's say, your left ear, and as you see it driving across the screen, it gets quieter in your left ear, and then it gets louder in your right ear. And so you hear the sound moving with whatever it is that's making the sound on TV. I mean, it works in natural settings too, but you really notice it in like movies and things. So my Compilot is awesome for that. I was really floored the first time I actually experienced it, because I was like, I thought there was something wrong with my Compilot, because I was hearing things in one ear and not in the other ear. So I was like, oh my gosh, till I realized that, I'm hearing something on my left side, and then something happens on the screen on the left side. So it was pretty cool to experience that. So stereo hearing is incredible, and you can only get that if you have 2 ears. The other thing is just in general, like noise situations and stuff, you hear a lot better with 2 ears. And that was one thing I noticed probably within just a couple of days of being bilaterally activated, was how much easier it was to follow conversations in a noisy situation. In fact, I'm at the point now where I rarely ever switch to my noise program unless it's crazy noisy. So in a regular restaurant or something like that, I have no issues. It's that much better. Speech discrimination, probably, like if I'm testing in the booth, I'm probably not going to notice a huge jump in my speech discrimination numbers, and that's kind of due to the fact that my right ear, my original one, is already like at 99%, so it's hard to make my speech discrimination that much better. Music sounds much richer. There's so much more depth to the music, and I noticed that when I was first activated. Before I even left the audiologist's office, I turned on my Compilot and streamed some music from my phone, and I just about fell off my chair. I was so floored with how much depth and richness there was. Let's see, what else? Head shadow effect. So when you're only listening with one ear and a sound, like say I'm deaf on my left side, or before I got my second implant. If I heard a noise, if there was a noise over on my left side, my head essentially would block that sound, so it would have to go up and over my head before it would enter into my good ear. So I would lose speech discrimination for things that were happening over here. I also couldn't locate sound. I couldn't localize where sound was. So if something happened over here, I would turn to my right because I would hear it from the right-hand side, thinking that that was where the sound was coming from. I haven't actually tested myself yet to see how my actual sound localization is now, but subjectively, I think my sound localization is much better because I don't ever find myself spinning in circles anymore. Because before, I was constantly spinning in circles trying to figure out where the sound was coming from. So that's a huge improvement. And then I guess probably the biggest benefit of being bilateral, even though this is not a benefit that I notice every day, is redundancy. So it's the ability to always have a backup. If one of my processors break, I still have the other one that I can rely on. If my implant fails, heaven forbid, I still have a second one that I can rely on. And I think that was one thing that I realized very early on. That was probably my biggest driving factors to be able to go bilateral, because I didn't want to ever be without my hearing. So that was, I wanted to be bilateral from the beginning, but that was probably my biggest reason why I wanted to be able to have that backup and to never be without my sound. So I would say that probably ranks as the most important reason, but all of the other benefits have just absolutely floored me. I wasn't expecting such a huge difference. So now I'm at the point where I don't ever want to be without either of my ears. So when I try to train just like my new ear, because my left ear is the youngest ear, I'm having a hard time taking off my right because they sound so good together. So anyways, I just want to encourage you, if you are a unilateral cochlear implant recipient and you are a candidate for your other ear, I strongly encourage you to take that leap and go for it. It's been an incredible experience for me. I think the ability to have two ears is so important, and I do think everyone needs to be able to have the chance if they want it, and I think you should definitely look into it. So that's my video for today. I have to go to work now. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed it. As always, if you have comments or questions, please post them below, and thanks for watching. Bye.